YouTube world? It's your boy Lucha, aka Matthew J. Brownlee, and I'm here with kind of Raw review, kind of SmackDown review. Not really. Uh, this is more of a video for the celebration of the life of Bray Wyatt. So Bray Wyatt passed. So as I'm recording this right now, it's Thursday, August 31st. Yes, it is. Bray Wyatt had tragically passed of a heart attack, apparently in his sleep. I think it was last week. Bray Wyatt. I think it was literally last week he passed away, like on a Wednesday, August 24th. August 24th, 2023, which was Wednesday, which was last Wednesday. And then the day before that, Terry Funk passed away. So so Terry Funk passes away one day. Literally the next day, Bray Wyatt announces that Bray Wyatt didn't know, but it was announced that Bray Wyatt had passed away by Triple H. Said that the Rotunda family gave him the news and shared it with everybody. And whew, uh, what's really sad about this, even more than uh, apparently the result of what happened, like what happened to him and things like that, is that he came from he had this match with LA Knight. They did their thing, and apparently he had like heart complications. I think he had got COVID or something like that. And when he left, people were like, "Man, what happened to Bray Wyatt? Why aren't they using him?" Stuff like that. And then it was announced that he had like a life-threatening injury or a life-threatening illness, and everybody was like, "Oh, well, health comes first. Hope he's okay." All that good stuff. And then there was like a reports, not even maybe 2 weeks to 1 or 2 weeks before this happened, that that he was feeling better. He's starting to post more, of Bray and saying that he's coming back, or that things are getting settled, figured out. And in my mind, I was like, yes, Bray Wyatt's coming back. Let's go. In my mind, I was like, yo, maybe they'll do Bray Wyatt. He comes back because, of course, Eric Young was supposed to do a thing with Bray Wyatt. It was supposed to be a thing, and then Vince came. So in my mind, I was like, okay, yeah, this is what you do. Viking Raiders, drop them. Nobody cares about Viking Raiders no more, right? Have Bray Wyatt get the Viking Raiders because they're part of the dark, spooky type stuff. Have them do that, and then you bring in Braun Strowman and Eric Rowan. As this big Wyatt, like an actual Wyatt family, like back how he's doing Eater War. So you have, to me, you had Viking Raiders as your tag team. You had Eric Rowan as your muscle guy. Bray, obviously, if he wanted to, he could be the top big world champion. And then you have Bo Dallas, if he wanted to be part of it, as your uncle, not Uncle Howdy, but like your, mid card. Him and Braun could be like your mid card type thing. If you needed Eric Rowan, he could be like your heater guy, kind of like Bullet Club. So maybe Braun or Bo, maybe they could win the tag titles in NXT. Maybe one could be a US IC champion. Maybe the other one could be like North American champion. Maybe an NXT champion. Stuff like that. To make that big. Bray controlling everything at the top. Bray could be like world champion, right? And then Bray, he'd lose the title to whoever, Seth Rollins, I guess, whatever, or Gunther, sure. Then he gets dark, and then maybe he's not, champion anymore, but he sicks Braun Strowman on him. And Braun Strowman beats Gunther or Seth Rollins, whoever could be champion, but he's controlling Braun. I had all these thoughts in my head. And then here we are. And the news broke that he passed away, and I was like, no, because I love Bray. I have a Bray Wyatt T-shirt. I don't know where it is, but I have a Bray Wyatt T-shirt. He's one of the few people that I do have a T-shirt with. Him, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Bailey. And Bailey's like the only female person I have a T-shirt of. Um, Bray, not Braun. Bray. I have a Bray shirt, a Finn Balor shirt, a New Day shirt. I got a couple New Day shirts. I have a Cesaro shirt, a Bailey shirt, and a Kevin Owens shirt. Kevin Owens, and I have two Sami Zayn shirts. I have two Sami Zayn shirts, Kevin Owens shirt, a Bray Wyatt shirt, a New Day shirt, a Bailey shirt, and whoever else I said, I forgot. But yeah, it's not a lot of shirts that so because I don't like spending money, I don't like spending $25 on shirts. So if and I also bought an Eddie Guerrero shirt, but I bought that a long time ago. I don't even know where that shirt is anymore. And speaking of Eddie Guerrero, this was like probably the first time since like Eddie Guerrero that I like when I heard the news about him passing away. I was like, no. I felt it deep in my soul because I really liked Eddie Guerrero. Brody Lee also to an extent, but when he passed away, when I was also I also broke a little bit down and stuff like that. I heard that he had the illness and the stuff like that. And I was like, well, uh, everything it sucks, but then Bray did it, and I was like, oh, what? And also, again, also going with um, Eddie Guerrero, Bray was only 36 years old when he passed away. Yes. It's sad, he had his wife, he had the two kids, or four kids, because he had two before, and he had the two with JoJo, so he had four kids. Only 36. He's about to come back. He's looking good, looking jacked, and then something. Apparently, he just took a nap. He didn't have his thing with him, his defibrillator with him that he needed to help him to breathe, like just in case something happened. It's sad, 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 sad. So they did a tribute show for him and for Terry Funk on SmackDown, which was very lovely. Uh, they did the 10 bell salute for him, and then they did um, the opening ceremony. They did the thing where they dimmed the lights down and the chair was in the middle of the ring. It was a lot. So I'm gonna go back to that. Talk about um, stuff that happened on SmackDown when I find it. Just give me 1 second. SmackDown. So I'm trying to look back to what I have because I forgot how it started before the tribute. Um, Eric Strowman, Braun Strowman, and Eric Rowan was on the top of the ramp. You got to feel for them, especially for Rowan, who was with the Wyatt family, Bray and them from like the very beginning, like when they first started the Wyatt family. So first for him, Luke Harper, Brody Lee passes away, and I know ate at him, and now Bray Wyatt passes away, and I know he's really distraught, stuff like that. Um, and then they open the show with Rey Mysterio versus Grayson Waller. Um, you know, Michael Cole, saying that they know that Terry Funk and Bray would want to like celebrate them and have a good time, so that's what they did. Um, Rey Mysterio did win this match, and there was a thing that he did in the match where he did a tribute to Bray. He did the thing where Grayson Waller would like he would come, like he would kind of like Ray would kind of like not really look behind, like he would be like facing this way, he would come behind him, and then he would hit that clothesline, and then he would run the ropes and do that like crazy like senton thing. Ray did that. That was pretty dope. Um, and then of course he wins with 619. Uh, Theory tried to interfere. Uh, that was made to save by Santos Escobar. And then next week is going to be a tag match with Ray and um, Escobar versus Theory and Grayson Waller. And on that pay per view coming up, Grayson Waller is going to challenge. No, not Grayson Waller. I was lying. Austin Theory is going to challenge Rey Mysterio for the U.S. title. They did a lot of. I'll talk about that in a second. So next up, it was Zelina Vega versus Io Sky for the Women's Championship. Always good to see Io Sky defended the title on SmackDown. Also good to see more Zelina Vega because she's great. This was really good. This match was really good. I liked it. Um, Vega really showed, some fire and, being that underdog that I know she is, Io being great. I don't think there was any interference in this match. It was like Io Sky, won clean with the over the moonsault. And yeah, that was it. They won. She won. And this was mostly because they were showing the thing that Zelina Vega had beat Io Sky like twice prior. One a couple months ago and the other one before Money in the Bank and stuff like that. So she was saying, hey, I win. I need to be champion. So good stuff. Great match. Also, they mentioned on commentary about Zelina's indie background, which is also good because they never mentioned it. So that's good stuff like that. She's been doing some stuff like off of her husband, of course, the Meteora, which looked great. Great Meteora. So good stuff that they showed that. Next up, Cody Rhodes. He did a tribute to Terry Funk, again, also passed away. He was saying that when he was a kid, he did this. He was in the airport, and he goes. He said all he hears is something about. He goes, "Who is that egg sucking dog that I see?" And it was obviously Terry Funk, and he also said some stuff about his grandmother or his mother. They were saying that he was one of the he's a cowboy, and they threw a video package, and he pretty much said that they're gonna have a Terry Funk tag match, which was like a tornado tag match with a table in it. It was good. It was between the Street Profits and the Brawling Brutes. Street Profits won. It was a fun match. It wasn't a Terry Funk match. Terry Funk would kind of be like, hardcore. Hardcore Terror Funk match. Where's the blood at? Where's all the stuff at? They did more blood, or they did more of that stuff on Raw with Fall Count Anywhere with Becky and Zoe Stark. That was more like a Terry Funk type of match than this. But I digress. But still a good match. Street Profits they won. They do that new finisher thing that they do, which was great. For the win. And then so we'll get to this part. Throughout the show, they were doing the things that Bray Wyatt did, like his little QR codes on the TV. You put the QR code and it sent you to different things. They did that, but they kind of pretty much showed what it was. So they did like one QR code that had like Bray winning the WWE Championship. They did one where he returned to face Finn Balor. They did one where he came back from Payback, I think it was last year, and stuff like that. So they did those type of QR codes to scan it to go back to those moments for Bray Wyatt, which was awesome. That was pretty dope for WWE to do that. um, and then final match, LA Knight versus Finn Balor. This match was in the significance of Finn Balor was the Fiend his first match when he came back as the Fiend, and he did that awesome. Bray Wyatt's when his comebacks were so good. So yeah, that was so Finn Balor was his Fiend's first return when he came back, and LA Knight, of course, was Bray Wyatt's last opponent that he just had, and LA Knight comes up, huge pop, um, and what I like about this promo is that it just probably let LA Knight be LA Knight. They didn't. It was like no gimmicks or anything. He didn't be like, oh yeah, me and Bray Wyatt, I love the guy, da 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 da. He was like, nah, me, Bray Wyatt, we were not friends, we weren't cool. But what Bray Wyatt did was he prepared me for the push that he prepared. It said that he said Wyatt prepared me for the push that was to come here in 2023. It seems to be a thing. Like every time Bray like faces people, it kind of helps the other person out. Sort of like what Karrion Kross is doing, but we'll talk about that another time, another day. But yeah, everybody thought that this feud was gonna like harm Bray, LA Knight, but it just elevated him even more into the big star that he was with the promos and all the stuff that he do. And then he also goes and says that sometimes our greatest foes can be your greatest helpers. He said he was getting me ready for anything. And what I also liked was he tied all that into like what he said about Bray preparing him and helping him and stuff like that. He tied all that into talking about the Miz. He was like, with that being said, Miz, you're one of the people. You come here. He does a high Miz voice. He's like, oh look at me, I'm the Miz. I do my T-shirts and all the stuff like that. And he berates him. He says that he's gonna come. Oh, what he said was he was like, you talk about me about being one hit. He was like, hey, yeah, you talk about all these accomplishments you had, but you was always overshadowed. You was overshadowed by the stunt double. Talk about Damien Sandow, the Mizdow thing. You said you was a champion of WrestleMania, but it wasn't even about you. It was about The Rock and John Cena. That was the big story. You was just an afterthought of that whole thing. And towards the end of his promo, he says to Miz, "A wise man once told me, next time you see me, run." So good. So good. Just like this match. This match was really good with LA Knight and Finn Balor. Probably LA Knight's best match on the main roster, but also because, Finn Balor's the GOAT out here in the streets. Um, they did, everything they had to do. They went back and forth. And not Miz, LA Knight wins clean with the floor force trauma on Finn Balor to send the crowd happy. Uh, and that was SmackDown. Yeah, that was SmackDown. It was a great tribute to Bray Wyatt and Terry Funk. They threw both of them in there, which was fantastic. Um, Raw, which came up. I'm not gonna go through the whole thing of Raw um, because Payback is coming up, but the main Raw wasn't really like crazy, honestly. Because they're of course gearing up for um, Payback. One match that won't be at Payback, which is kind of interesting, is uh, Gunther versus Chad Gable. That match won't be at Payback. It's going to be on Raw next week. Uh, of course, the thing is that they don't want, Triple H doesn't want all those matches, going, of course, because they have a specific time where they want, things to happen. Which I mean, I understand. I assume that next week that match is going to main event, and to me, I think that's even better, anyways, because if they, are going to have a match on Saturday, what would happen on Monday after Gunther retains? You don't want to do like some weird finish that you would have to do the match at on Monday just for that to happen anyway. So you might as well just have the match on Monday, get it over with, because Gunther has only let like after he wins that match, that after he wins probably in the main event, that Friday he broke the record. It's over. He's done. He wins. And I don't think he's just gonna like do that. I think he's gonna keep the. I think he's gonna keep the title past Survivor Series, past Rumble. I don't think he's probably gonna lose that title until WrestleMania, which would be an interesting conversation to see who would probably win after that. Um, so that's cool stuff. Um, I'm trying to go back to where the Raw. No, oh, you're right. Okay, so I got it. So that's gonna happen. They opened the show with Sami Zayn. Of course, they did the Bray Wyatt tributes again, which I cried like a small child. And they did it on NXT, and then I cried like a small child. And thinking about it, it's tearing me up still because, again, love Bray Wyatt. He's the goat. Um, but there's the story with Judgment Day, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, all that stuff that's going on. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens at Payback, because so they had the match. JD McDonough helps um, Damian Priest win, and then Priest is like, "Bro, I don't need your help. Stop trying to help me." He pushes him, and then he turns around. Kevin Owens is there. They beat him up, stunner, haluva kick. Damian Priest is like, "I ain't got nothing to do with me. My name is Bennett, and I ain't in it." So they have that thing going on, and then they said they're gonna have a tag team match with Sammy and KO, and it's gonna be like a Steel City Street Fight or something like that in Pittsburgh. That's gonna be interesting to see if JD again helps them become tag team champions. That would be interesting to see. Maybe you know, maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. I don't know. But Rhea Ripley did say, "Hey, this dissension got to stop because people are coming at me. I'm freaking fucking bloody fucking Ripley. People are coming at me. People are thinking I'm soft. You see the girl Raquel's thinking that I'm soft. So we gonna figure out." She said the only person. He said the only person that's doing stuff here is being Dom. And Dom at first was like, "Yeah," and then he looked at Damian Priest and started looking. He was like, "That was great." So he said. So she said, um, either Judgment Day at the end of the day, at the end of the pay per view, either all of us are going to be champions, or we're going to make some changes after there. So it's going to be interesting. So if they win, there's nothing bad is going to happen. But if they lose, maybe at the end of the night though, Damian Priest cashes in on Seth Rollins. Maybe he wins, and then Shinsuke Nakamura tears his back up even more, beats him up, takes him out, and then Damian Priest comes out. He's world champion. He was like, "Hey, Rhea, world champion, champion." He ain't got nothing. There's nothing on Finn Balor. I'm just saying, it's not me. I ain't doing it. It's him. So that'll probably be interesting to see what happens with that. Um, New Day had the thing with Viking Raiders, so again, also interesting with this thing with them and Riddle and Drew McIntyre. They had a solid match. Uh, Ivar was chucking New Day into to him. Uh, Drew don't play that. He got a chair. He went to throw it at. I think Ivar ducked and hit Xavier Woods right in the face. He got taken out. Drew was like, "Gosh darn it!" And then they hit Ragnarok on Kofi Kingston, so they win, which is fun stuff. We like those. We like when Viking Raiders get wins. And then Drew said, he apologized a lot of times. Kofi's like, "Bro, it's all right. It happens. We know you didn't mean to do it." He called Drew Big D. We don't like those around here, but it is what it is. But he said that he's going to take him out if Riddle has to be a partner, but you can take him out by himself. And then he was like, "Yeah, I guess." Um, After that, they had we thought we had LA Knight come out, and it wasn't. It was the Miz, which made me not happy. Freaking Miz comes out, it's LA Knight, and pretty much, berates the crowd as he was LA Knight. He was like, "See how easy it was to be LA Knight. I don't want to be LA Knight. He's just a catchphrase. I don't do catchphrases. I don't say which really, really, most must see, all that stuff. He said these aren't catchphrases. When I say I'm the most must see, it's true. He said he's gonna find that out when I take him out at Payback, which he's not. LA Knick's gonna win. So next up, again, they had the match. Uh, uh, Gable and uh, Ludwig Kaiser. Giovanni Vinci gets involved. They had the whole thing where Gunther said he was going to take him out. He comes in, he interrupts. They have the match. It's good stuff. Gable wins by the DQ, and then Gunther comes back out because he was standing by ringside, and then Gable was getting upper hand, and then he's out of there. After the commercial break, he goes. Then he comes back. They take him out. They take out Otis. Um, and then Gable, he tried to take out Gable. Gable reverses, hit him with the ankle lock, and then they jump him, hits him with the power bomb, stands over him. But that doesn't mean nothing because Gunther's still gonna win. So that means nothing. Gunther's still gonna win. There's normally go home math. No go home math. Gunther's winning. He's breaking that record from Honky Tonk, and he's gonna carry that to probably WrestleMania. Honestly. So that was good stuff. Next up, Brunson Reed and Tommaso Ciampa. I just thought they were going to do a thing with DIY because Tampa keeps uh, posting missing things for Johnny Gargano. So that thing's going to happen eventually. But till now, uh, he does like a crucifix pin on on Reed. It was kind of weird because he kind of did it and then he kind of lay flat and he tried to pin him after that. It was weird, but he still got the win. Um, they did a segment with Seth Rollins here comes out. You know, he's probably devastated because obviously of the loss of Bray Wyatt. He comes out with the side plates being of Bray Wyatt. He had the Bray Wyatt side plates on. And, you know, of course, he meant a lot to Bray Wyatt because they had their whole thing with the Shield. First, they had this stuff with the Shield and Wyatt's, and then the stuff with the Hell in a Cell, all that stuff. So there's a lot of history going on with them. Um, so he comes out, he talks about you know Nakamura says one point in time he would give him the shirt off his back. He said what happened to the old Nakamura. He said what happened to the Tokyo Dome. He said what happened to the NXT Nakamura. He said that's the Nakamura I want. I don't want this bougie Nakamura. That's what I've been waiting for. And then they did a video package from Nakamura again in Japanese, which is magnifique. And he pretty much talks about I'm going to be the reason uh, why you won't be able to hold your daughter. It's going to be my fault. Um, Stuff like that. He's been practicing his kicks, and he told him, of course, watch your back. But he doesn't listen because he didn't watch his back, and his Shinsuke Nakamura from behind, boom, shots it to the back of the neck, beats him up. I have a theory that I want to happen. There are rumors that there's a tag team that has been waiting in the wings since last year. If you've been waiting in the wings since last year, why are you bringing it up now, Sean Ross Sapp? Huh? Happy birthday, by the way, or happy belated birthday. I don't know which one's going on. What you doing over there? What you cooking up? What I think they would be cooking up is Nakamura beats Seth Rollins with the help of AOP, Authors of Pain. They come back, they take out Seth Rollins. Boom, the ref's not really looking. Kinshasa, 1, 2, 3. Boom! And new World Heavyweight Champion Shinsuke Nakamura. That's what I would hope that would happen. And also, to me, it would be great if they did that right. Judgment Day don't win the tag team titles, and they do some more arguing for later. No, never mind. They can win the tag team titles. Never mind. Or somebody wins. Maybe they do win the tag titles, right? and then they do a thing where they keep them away from each other for now. They have Shinsuke, maybe he faces Cody, uh, faces I don't know who else is big. Drew McIntyre, I don't know. Whoever else is babyface around these streets, he beats them all. Seth Rollins comes back at for WrestleMania. Seth Rollins beats him, and then he again beats him up, and then he loses it to Damian Priest, who has the money to pay briefcase still. That's my thing. That probably won't happen, but that's what I book it. Give Nakamura a 7 month reign from now until WrestleMania. 7 months. Yes, yes. Give it to your boy. He deserves it. Even if he loses at WrestleMania. Open up WrestleMania. They have the match. Fire. Seth wins. And then he takes him out. And then Damian Priest comes out. Cashes it in. Damian Priest new champion. Or maybe they have a fallout. Maybe Finn Balor beats Damian Priest for the briefcase. And then Finn Balor beats Seth Rollins for the title. I'm just saying. But then final match, Becky Lynch versus Zoe Stark. She pretty much talks about how they started, that what she's gonna do to Trish, but for now that she's gonna take out Zoe Stark. There was a fun bit in the beginning where uh, uh, Trish Stratus was throwing chairs in the ring, and then Zoe Stark turns around and she accidentally threw a chair and hit her in the face. And then Zoe Stark was trying not to laugh. It was great. But the the funny part about that is it actually inadvertently played into the end of the match where um, they did a thing where Becky Lynch had or she had Trish Stratus had like Becky Lynch like in the back area, and then Zoe Stark went to go after Trish to Becky Lynch, but she ended up hitting Trish Stratus instead, and she fell through the table. And they both kind of looked down at her, like Becky and Zoe kind of both looked down at Trish Stratus, or like they was both like, and they kind of both looked at each other like for like 5 seconds, and then she takes out Zoe Stark. I think she hit her with the manhandle slam through another table for the win. It was good stuff throughout the show. Fun little main event there. Um, which again, like I said, is more hardcore than whatever that tag team match was. Um, yeah, it was a fun match. Um, Not the best show. It was an okay show, but the main event was pretty decent. More Bray Wyatt stuff that made me cry. Stuff with Gable and Ludwig, that was a good match, and then the end with Gunther being a menace. The stuff with Judgment Day is pretty interesting. The stuff with Seth Rollins, the mid stuff was cool. The stuff with Seth and Nakamura was really great. Uh, Sets up stuff for next week and Payback. So that was that show. Um, Kind of gonna be interesting to see what they do for Payback. Um, yeah, that was the show. Sucks we won't see Bray Wyatt. Hopefully they do his memory good. Maybe instead of him, maybe now Alexa Bliss takes over the Wyatt stuff. Maybe she'll have Braun Strowman back because people he was very connected with a lot of people. He's connected with Alexa Bliss, Braun Strowman. Maybe you could bring Braun Strowman back, the Uncle Howdy guy, um, Uncle Howdy, or maybe they'll just do Bo Dallas. Maybe those three. Maybe they'll add Nikki Cross to the thing. That'd be great. Maybe they have Eric Rowan there. So we'll see what happens. This probably won't. None of this probably will happen until obviously after Alexa Bliss has a baby. So we'll see. It'd be good to uh, honor the legacy of Bray Wyatt. Maybe they'll do it at WrestleMania next week. Maybe there'll be a big thing where Alexa comes. They'll do the thing. The lights will go out. They'll come back up. do the little Wyatt stuff. It'll be Alexa Bliss. She'll have Braun Strowman. She'll have Eric Rowan. She'll have Bro Dallas. Maybe she'll have Randy Orton. Who knows? But it'll be interesting to see. Rest in peace, Bray. You were great. Rest in peace, Terry Funk. Legend. That was the show. It's a little longer, but hopefully you guys watched for both of them. I'll probably be doing will I be doing? I'll probably be doing, if I could do Raw or SmackDown in the pay-per-view for on Monday. Hopefully, I'll do that. For that for those shows. All Out is also a thing. Maybe I'll talk about it tomorrow. I'll talk about it since it is a big thing and there's a whole. But we're gonna not talk about Punk because this is about Bray Wyatt and that tribute and Raw and stuff and WWE. So rest in peace, Bray. Rest easy. Rest in peace, Terry Funk. All love. See you guys. Oh, one small little thing. John Cena will also be on SmackDown, and apparently he's gonna honor Bray on SmackDown too. So there you go for that too. And John Cena will also be there for like the next 7, 8 shows, next 7, 8 weeks. So we'll see what happens with that. He's supposed to team with Bray Wyatt to face Imperium. So we'll see how that works. Let me know what you guys think of the show and all that. I'll see you guys next time. I'm out.